You may ask, why behind me there's some horses? Well, I've actually just come up here to film, and before we start the video, these little fellas have come over to say hello, which is quite fitting, because today the car that I'm filming has plenty of power, because my BMW M140i Shadow Edition is here, and it's sat just behind me. So then, here it is, my sunset orange BMW M140i Shadow Edition 3-door. Now I'm going to take you a little bit of a look around this car, but as you've seen in the intro to this, some wild horses have actually come over to me and started being a bit friendly. A little bit too friendly, because I've actually had to move. I was actually originally filming way up there, and I've had to move because one or two of the horses decided to use the car as a scratch post. So I've literally taken delivery of this car, brought it up here to film, and I've had horses already scratching themselves on it. Luckily I've had the car ceramic coated, so hopefully there's no damage on it. I mean, let's go and take a look around the car, and I'll take you around some of the options and the exterior features. So then, here we are, sunset orange as I mentioned, which is actually quite a rare colour on these cars. I've worked for BMW now for 3 and a bit years, and I can count on my hand how many of these 140s I've seen in sunset orange. It's the Shadow Edition, so you get the black kidney grills on the front and the darkened front LED lights. I'm going to have a quick look on the bonnet, just because the horse was actually giving it a bit of a once over. There's a few little bits of slobber on there. It was also using the front end as a scratching post, but it looks fine. But the main bit was on the wing mirror, so you can probably see a bit of horsey dandruff down here. It was actually using the wing mirror as a scratching post. A little bit of scratching on there, but nothing that can't be amended. But yeah, what a way to break this car in, eh? 340 brake horsepower, and about 6 horses just came over and used it as a scratch post, which I wasn't expecting that today. But so I've gone for the 3-door rather than the 5. Had the choice. I personally prefer the 3-door. I don't need the practicality of the 5-door, and I think the 3-door just looks a bit sleeker without that big large door on the rear. Gone for the jet black alloys on the front and rear, obviously. I just think they contrast very, very well with the sunset orange paint. Moving around to the rear, I'm sure you're all familiar with the way these things look. Darkened rear lights. I've just decided to keep the M140 badge on there. Twin pipes down at the rear as well. I mean, this colour, in this light it just looks stunning, absolutely stunning. I'm so happy with it, really happy. In terms of its actual interior options, I've not actually gone for anything, because this being the Shadow Edition, you get so much kit on it as standard. This is the Sports Auto, because you can now only get these Shadow Sport 140s in Sports Automatics. And I mean, you get your H&Ks, which is Harman Kardon sound system for those that don't know, rear parking sensors, cruise control, full Bluetooth, and everything else as standard on these cars. But yeah, it's here, and I'm exceptionally happy with it. But now, let's go and jump in, start this thing up, listen to it on a cold start because it's been static for a while, and go for a spin. Well then, it's finally here, my BMW M140i, and there's plenty of reviews online about these cars. You know exactly what they're like, but this is what it makes me feel, and let's be honest, let's just drop it down a few gears, and it's just, I never get bored of that. Oh, never get bored. And here's a little tip actually for you 140 owners. If you press your little traction button down here, instead of turning it all the way off, you just press it once, it'll come up with traction. So the traction is still on, but what that does is it actually opens the exhaust valves, which gives you a real pop and bang and real rasp to the engine. It just sounds phenomenal. It sounds amazing, and it's all been confirmed that the next God. It's all been confirmed really that the next 140, actually it's probably going to be called an M140i xDrive, is going to be a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, which I have no doubt whatsoever will be fantastic. I mean, it's bound to be. BMW are really knocking it out of the park at the minute, and a car that that's based on is the X2 M35i, which we've got coming soon, which will be very, very interesting to see, and stay tuned for that video. But I don't know how I feel about that, because this engine and this drivetrain is just, I mean, just drop it down again, and it just, oh, come on, that is just incredible. You just never ever get bored of that. Just the way that it feels, the noise, the vibrations that you get. It's one of the most involving cars on the market today, and I am so glad I've got one of these. So glad. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because over the next couple of months I'm going to be taking you along the journey of owning one of these cars, and its everyday practicalities. So, I mean, how much space is in it, how does it feel when you're driving it, not like your hair's on fire. And it's just going to be a great journey. I've wanted one of these for such a long time, as I'm sure you saw in the previous video announcing this car, but it's here. Let's just give it one more blast, shall we? Let's drop it down into 3rd gear and just plant that right foot, and it just oh man, it's just, you can never ever get bored of that. Never ever get bored. It's just, it's a savage thing, this. I mean, 340 horsepower in a small little car. It feels a lot quicker than the figures suggest. Now, thank you very much for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, as I've mentioned, for the full living with this car videos over the next couple of months, and I will see you next time.